All right, good morning and welcome to my Sephora VIB Get Ready With Me. I'm gonna kick it off and I'm gonna do my face makeup first. Usually I do my eye makeup first, but I mostly just have shadow sticks to use for today's video, and I don't think that there's gonna be a ton of fallout with that. So I'm actually gonna start by putting a little bit of the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask in Pumpkin Pie on my lips. I told you guys I mostly bought this for my daughter. Her and I feel like we pretty much, we kind of collect the limited editions. We don't get every single one. Like, I really wanted to get the hot chocolate. She preferred the pumpkin pie, and I was like, okay, we really only need one because we still have watermelon eggnog and the taro tea, which taro tea is probably my favorite they've ever come out with. Then the other day, I like opened her makeup vanity drawer and I forgot that we also got the Baskin Robbins one this year. So I'm like, we literally have 4 right now. Sorry, I know I keep putting this on, but my lips are like on fire, hurting right now. This does have a really nice, like, pumpkin pie without being too sweet sort of scent to it. So, enjoying that so far. I did not pick up a new primer during the sale. During my Sephora shop with me, I was thinking about picking up the Fenty Beauty Grip Trip new like hydrating gripping primer, but one of you in the comments told me that it was getting really bad reviews. So then I was trying to like sift through the like incentivized reviews, which are really good. And I actually did end up going in store and I swatched that primer, and I will say it felt really slippery on the back of my hand. Like, it felt somewhat hydrating, but even after like a minute and a half, it still felt really slippery. So I'm like, I feel like this has like no grip to it. And I ended up not picking that up. It also, from what I remember, I'm like, I don't think I'm crazy. I am kind of crazy, but it had really light package. Like the packaging just felt kind of cheap on it. What I'm getting at with this is I didn't pick up a new primer, but Bare Minerals recently sent over another PR package, and in that was the Bare Minerals Primetime Original Pore Minimizing Primer. So I have tried their hydrating one and their redness reducing one, but not their pore minimizing. I just took the little thing, the little tab off, so I haven't tried this one yet. And I figured we could just give this one a go. I just realized I did not, well, I guess I washed my face this morning. I'm like, I didn't put a moisturizer on this morning because I'm trying to get ready kind of quickly. Today, my mom, sister, daughter, and I are going to a Prince musical. And I only have like a little bit of time before I have to go pick her up from her dad's to go. So I needed to get to filming. I'm afraid to say this out loud because I haven't like announced it yet, and if I am thinking correctly, I think this video will go up either on the 4th or the 5th, but I'm wanting to post every single day in the month of November. It's like I gotta be on it. I don't know that that's gonna happen. This is not me making a promise to you. Okay, that pore filling primer actually feels like it has a decent tack to it. I will also say pores are not like my biggest concern. Yes, there's times that I do prefer a more smoothing primer, but typically I just prefer that my primer has a grip to it. Also ignore the fact that my nails aren't painted. Maybe I do feel like especially my cheeks feel like a little bit smoother. Okay, for foundation, I did pick up one new foundation. I am still really curious. I'm not buying anything. I'm not doing that thing where I place several more purchases throughout the sale. I'm not doing it. I refuse, but there definitely are still some foundations on my list. But I did pick up the by the way, editing back my videos has been so painful. The amount of like just misspoken things I've been saying lately. I'm like, oh girl, like saying brands, saying what type of like product I'm talking about. And I'm like, we need to get it together. This is the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Natural Finish Foundation. I'm really curious about this one. I was not a fan of his first foundation, but I feel like this one has been getting really positive reviews. This is a very runny formula. From what I feel like I've heard is this is more of like a satin matte or like a velvety matte kind of finish, which I do really like. I like, especially for a long wear, I like kind of like a satin matte finish, but I can still add like glow to my cheeks and it doesn't like totally just like make me look like a blank matte canvas. Wow. I'm also just thinking I maybe should have color corrected. No, my under eyes aren't looking terrible today. Anyway, the only thing, I don't know if I've paid attention to whether or not this has good wear time, and I am really wanting this to last me all day. So maybe not the smartest thing to be testing a new foundation when going out to do something, but it's gonna be okay. I also just realized, well, it's not like I'm using a matte primer. I guess I'm using a smoothing primer. I was like, maybe I should have done a gripping primer with this, or a hydrating primer, but hopefully it works. Okay, right off the bat, I have also heard that this oxidizes a bit once you put it on, although probably is a really good shade match to my very, very, very pale skin. I'm gonna go over top with a beauty sponge. That's just my preferred way to apply my foundation, but right off the bat, I feel like that's looking really pretty on the skin. It does not feel heavy at all. It feels very lightweight and almost serum-like. Did this say serum in the name? No. It feels very lightweight and almost like a serum-like foundation. I feel like from what I remember of his first foundation, it almost just was like almost too liquidy and hydrating, where like it just like slipped and slid all over the face and like really sunk in to like every crease, crack, and crevice on the face. Okay, I actually feel like that looks so pretty on the skin. Should I zoom you guys in like a little bit? I'm scared. I feel like that looks really pretty. And my skin still looks very, very hydrated. Okay, I did pick up a new concealer during the sale. I picked up the Kulfi, I don't know what they call this, the Kulfi Main Match Concealer Corrector. I picked up Misty Maple. I feel like I've heard not a single negative review of this concealer, so I'm excited to try this one. I did not have a new concealer necessarily on my radar. Although this is one that I've been, oh, I feel like that's gonna be too dark. Oh no. Oh, I definitely feel like that's gonna be too dark. All right, I'm gonna blend it out and see what it looks like. If it's too dark right now, I feel like this is something that still could potentially work for me in the summer. Let's see what happens when we blend it out. I was saying I didn't necessarily have a new concealer on my radar, but then I was like, maybe I have enough products to pretty much do almost a full face of first impressions. And I was like, oh, maybe I should get a new concealer. I'm almost done with one of my concealers, although I had said, actually I will say in my upcoming concealer declutter that I would like to finish 2 concealers before buying another. And then there I was the next day or two buying a new concealer after not finishing any. Okay, maybe it's not actually gonna be too light. I'm okay with not having like the most bright under eyes. So obviously it wouldn't necessarily be like a brightening concealer, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, actually I feel like that looks pretty natural underneath the eyes. Also very lightweight and serum-like for a concealer. I feel like that blended right into the foundation too. And obviously, like, I haven't said it yet. I just got it blended out within the last 30 seconds. I feel like that looks really, really nice underneath the eyes. Like, my under eyes still look hydrated. They don't look dry. They don't look cakey. Okay, I'm so pleased with that right off the bat. Again, first impressions. All right, for powder for underneath my eyes, I'm gonna go in with my Givenchy Pressed Prism Libre powder. I have the shade Viola Rosé, and I'm just, actually, for some reason I've gotten away from using my favorite BK Beauty Nikki LaRose brush, the N17. I'm going to, actually, I'm gonna start with my powder puff. I like to just swirl these all together, and the only reason I'm using this powder, well, I actually have been enjoying this more than when I first started using it recently. But I do, again, I'm going to do something today, so I'd like my makeup to really last. I'm okay with it being a little bit more full coverage. And this does do a really nice job of like really blurring the under eye. As you can see, there is definitely a difference there. Okay, yeah, this does not look as nearly as like dry and heavy as I remember it looking when I had been using this powder the last couple of months. I've definitely been enjoying this more within the last couple of weeks. Oh yeah, the under eyes look so blurred. Okay, I'm here for it. All right, for the rest of my face, I'm gonna go in with my Kosas Cloud Set Powder in the shade Breezy. This is not a new product to me. This is not a first impressions. I've gone through 2 full compacts of this, and I had just recently finished off my other one, and so I was so excited to repurchase a new one. And I'm really proud of myself for not purchasing one of these as a backup in the spring sale, because my other powder did truly last me right up until like 1 to 2 weeks before the sale. So it really did work out just fine. And I love this powder because it is just nice and lightweight, very like airy. I feel like Breezy is a really good name for it. Like I feel like my skin still like feels and looks like skin, but I do feel like it does a really nice job of setting my makeup and just really making it last all day. And I did not pick up a new setting spray during the sale, but there are 2 sprays that I have purchased this year from Sephora. So I will use actually probably both of these today. I'm actually typically, I might, well, maybe I will go in with my powder melt. It's gonna be, I'll probably end up using 3 sprays today. I know we're so extra. I'm gonna go in with my One Size Powder Melt Glass Setting Spray. I freaking love this setting spray. It is by far my favorite spray I've ever used. If ever I just feel like my face looks way too, like it looks too makeup-y, there's just something that's not right about it, I swear I will spray this on and I swear it is magic. It gives the most beautiful glass-like glowy shine to the skin without being like a greasy, too glowy sort of situation. I swear this is magic in a bottle. So I'm gonna spray that on, add just a little bit of glow to the face, and then we will move on to, part of me really wants to do my eyes right now, but we'll just move on to the rest of the face first. During the sale, I was trying to give myself every possible excuse to buy a new bronzer. I still really want to try the YESStyle bronzer, but I held strong and I did not get a new bronzer. So for my bronzer today, I'm gonna go in with a bronzer that I picked up during the spring sale, and this has quickly become my favorite bronzer, I'm pretty sure I can say of all time, and definitely in my current collection. I absolutely love and adore this. It is the Dior Forever bronzer, the Dior Forever nude bronzer. I have the shade 10 Soft Matte. I just love this because I do find this to be, I have the lightest shade, which honestly I'm glad I picked up the lightest shade even during the spring sale when I was definitely self-tanning more, just because obviously I'm not self-tanning now and I can still use it. It's a very beautiful, very buildable bronzer. It is a little bit warm, so keep that in mind if you are someone who likes a more neutral bronzer, but I just love the way that this applies to the skin. I feel like I'm looking maybe so fair and so pale. Maybe this is looking a little more warm even than I'm used to, but it's just a very, very buildable formula. So as someone who loves bronzer and can easily and quickly get really heavy-handed with my bronzer, this is the buildable the better. And so this just has worked so well for me. And whenever I'm just like not certain of what bronzer I want to reach for, this is my go-to. And this is my go-to whenever I have anything that I'm like actually going out and doing that I like really care about how my makeup looks. This is where it's gonna get so hard, you guys, because for blush, I picked up the newest NARS face palette. We know I love NARS face palettes. There are 3 blushes in here, and then like, I would say honestly 2 blush toppers and 1 highlight, or 3 blush toppers, however you want to do your makeup. Also, how freaking pretty is the packaging here? So obviously I'm very interested in using this. I also picked up one of the new Ciele blushes. This is the Flush and Protect. This is in the shade Blaze, which I know that this shade looks really scary, but I believe it's Simply Blair swatched this out. And like, obviously that's a heavy swatch, but then you can just really shear it out. I'm like, I think it's really sticking to my dry skin on my hands. Oh yeah, it is. That is really not a good swatch at all. But like, as you can see, as I'm like really blending this, you can really shear this out. And then we're not on to highlight yet. So while I do really want to use this, I like really feel like this is just gonna be better for today. I just feel like I'm feeling more pinky cheeks today. So I think I'm actually gonna go with this and we can test this another day. Now the question is, do I go for more bold or do I go for like a baby pink? A part of me kind of wants to do this baby pink blush and then like top it with this. I also am just curious. I want to see how bold this shade is. So I'm going to tap my blush brush in a little bit. And then my hands are so dry. Okay, that does not look very bold at all. Okay, then I just went in with a little bit heavier swatch and I think we can get a little more bold. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm feeling possibly a little bit daring. Okay, I feel like my bronzer is actually looking so warm and I'm feeling a little self-conscious of it. It's never looked this warm. I'm feeling like I'm possibly getting a little bit of caking of the foundation in my nose and actually like my smile lines. Before we go any further, I'm gonna take my beauty blender and I'm gonna try and blend that out, which actually that still blended out pretty well. And then I think I'm gonna take a little bit more of that Givenchy powder and just to try and like really lock things in, because again, the musical today is like 3 hours. Tell me why that like stresses me out. I'm just like thinking to myself like, oh my gosh, like am I gonna just be dead by intermission? Am I gonna be so exhausted? Just putting a little extra powder into the smile lines just to help hopefully make this last a little longer. What is happening up above me? Then I'm gonna spray a little bit more of the powder melt on. I wouldn't normally care about the like warmth of the bronzer, but I feel like we're going for cheeks. I'm gonna quickly do my brows while this kind of dries and then we'll come back because I feel like I need to do my brows and I'll feel a little bit better about everything. And actually I do have a couple of new brow products, but I'm gonna first go in and like use my Danessa Myricks pomade and I'll be right back. Okay, brows are on. I did pick up 2 brow products during the sale, so I was in need of a new kind of tinted brow gel, yes, and then like brow glue / brow gel. So I ended up picking up a mini in the ABH Brow Freeze. I have really enjoyed the ABH brow gel in the past. It gives really crispy brows, but it has such a firm hold. I really like that. I have not tried the Brow Freeze. I will say this wand, I don't have the benefit, I forget what it is, like the benefit, I don't know if it's the goof proof like brow setter holder, whatever it is. I feel like the wands are identical where it's like flat on one side. There's 2 different sides of brush or 2 different sizes of brush, oh my gosh, like combs. But I like the flat side because I can kind of just push in the brow glue and then go back through with the comb. Okay, I really need to trim my brows. I also just put that pomade in and I feel like the, oh my gosh, the comb is almost like lifting and brushing some of that tinted brow or some of that pomade up. Okay, I could definitely go to trim the brows right now. I feel like I should grab my scissors and give these a good old trim. I'm exposing myself. Wow, okay. I'm gonna go grab some scissors. Don't panic, I don't have many scissors, so I'm gonna... Maybe I'm panicked. Okay, this is just gonna have to work. I feel like I might regret what I just did. Like when I don't have brow pomade in. Okay, then before I move on to the other eye, I'm just gonna go in next with the Milk Kush High Roll Brow Tint Gel. I have used the original like Milk Kush Brow Tint, but this is the tubing formula. I ended up picking up the shade Dutch, which I believe is described as a medium dark brown. And this is definitely like a little bit extra, but this is just sometimes what I will do for my brows is a pomade, then a like brow glue, and then go over top with a pomade. Sometimes days that I'm not doing like a lot of makeup, I'll just like do this, like these 2 together. Sometimes I'll add in a little bit of penciling, but like honestly my brows are thick enough. Usually I can get away with just these two. I will have to come back to report, like without the pomade, do these still give my brows the like structure and hold that I'm looking for? All right, we're gonna go in and put the brow glue on the other side. I will have to like report back, you guys, on whether or not I feel like the brow glue lasts and holds. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have a funny story since I have these like actual hair cutting shears out. Again, don't panic. These are my brows that I'm screwing up, not yours. My daughter's been taking the bus this year and she had a really bad hair cutting incident. I want to say in like maybe 1st or 2nd grade. She like obviously was frustrated with her bangs. Who else has done this? Frustrated with your bangs and you literally snip at the hairline. I did that when I was in 2nd grade. And I warned her before she had this like mishap. I was like, girl, do not do as I did and like learn from my mistake. Don't ever like cut your own bangs because it's just not good. She did it. She learned her lesson. But then one day I get home and I beat her home and I walked into the bathroom and the shears were sitting out on, maybe the shears weren't sitting out, but there were little like hair pieces, like more than just like a little bit of like a trim of her little blonde hairs sitting by the sink. And I feel like the shears were also out and I was like, oh no, I'm like scared for her to get home from the bus and see what has happened. Everything was okay. She did just do like a few trims like this and like honestly you couldn't tell, but I was like, girl, I was terrified that you screwed up your bangs again. Okay, obviously I have the pomade in. I feel like I can't maybe tell much of a difference with like the actual Milk Kush. I'm gonna have to test this on its own without the pomade, but I do so far feel like I like the ABH Brow Freeze. And actually, silly me, before we go in with blush, I do always like to do my highlight before my blush just because personally for me, I feel like I get a better, like somewhat more seamless blend, although I still feel like it always looks like Neapolitan on my face. It's okay. I'm not a makeup artist. I just like to sit down and play with makeup and it's fun for me. But for highlighter, I have the new Dior Quad, the Backstage Glow Maximizer palette in Frosted Opal Glow. I saw this teased so much earlier this year. I want to say on Trend Mood, and I can't remember which country they released in first, but I knew that it was gonna be longer till they got to the US. And for some reason, this palette just stuck out to me. The color story, I know I love blues, I love light pinks. The frostiness of it, I was like, I definitely want that. I do have one of the other Dior quads before they reformulated and actually decluttered that palette and then recluttered it, but used that so much this year. I would say that was one of my most used and most favorite face palettes of the year. So I really, really wanted the quad. In my Sephora shop with me, I was like, I feel like you guys are gonna tell me not to get this, but like I really want this one. I will say it is, like this shade right here, I feel like is something I will end up using more on my eyes than on my actual cheeks because this does have a glitter to it. It almost reminds me of, it kind of almost reminds me of Skin of a Killer, the eyeshadow shade from Bella Beauté Bar. It has like a clear transparent base and then it's just like silver, kind of silver glitter. I'm not the type of girl who always loves like a glitter highlighter, but I'm still intrigued. Then we have also a blue highlight, which I don't know is gonna get the most use for me, but still fun. Then we have these two highlights, which I'm gonna swatch. So we have this one and then the pink one, which I think I'll probably end up using this one today. There is the lower one. This one, I just swatched right here. That looks like a really beautiful, almost like frosty, almost has a lilac-iness to it. And then the other kind of one that looks more purple in the pan. That one is definitely not as glowy. It almost has like a pinky lilac base with almost like a golden glow to it. This one looks like it might actually have some glitter in it as well. I think I'm gonna go with, here I can swatch the blue just so you guys can see what the blue looks like too a little bit. I know my lights are not necessarily helping the situation. I'm also swatching terribly. That was a horrible swatch. Okay, maybe I'll swatch the blue. Definitely like blue, definitely blue. So not really what I'm going for today, but I feel like I could have fun with that one with some of my like blue eyeshadow looks that I love to do. I am today gonna go in with this shade right here. And maybe if I'm feeling slightly daring, maybe I'll add a little bit of that first glittery shade too. We're gonna see what happens. So I'm just gonna take that like I normally would my highlight, and I feel like that's looking really pretty right off the bat. I do love a pink highlighter. I have more, I was gonna say I have more icy tones. I have more cool tones to my actual skin complexion. I just feel like I self-tan so much sometimes that I forget that. I actually feel like that looks really pretty. It's maybe not the most like gleaming, beaming, popping, but that is not necessarily all the time. I'm gonna do the same thing on this cheek. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret today. I'm actually not gonna be watching the Vikings game. This will be the first Vikings game I miss in a while, and we play the Lions today. Honestly, probably good that I'm missing it because I have a feeling it's gonna be a big blowout and the Vikings are not gonna win. But I'm gonna be at the musical when the Vikings are playing, and I'm just, it's just so painful to be a Vikings fan. So painful. I'm gonna go in with this, and then we're gonna see where we're at for everything for complexion. I'm still feeling like my bronzer just feels so much warmer than I'm used to it. Okay, I'm gonna take this shade right here. I got a lot on my brush, I feel like. I'm going to tap it off, and then I'm gonna put it on because I don't want it to be super deep, dark, and intense. I may have tapped off the majority of that. But I'm actually gonna, I think, layer the two matte blushes just for funsies. Maybe I'm having too much fun on a day that I actually need to like that I need my makeup to like actually not look crazy. I'm gonna make it all work, you guys. Don't fret, don't fear. And if it doesn't, it was still fun to sit down and do my makeup, right? Okay, I'm scared of the cheeks. Okay, well, at least we know that that pink can really be built up to be quite pigmented. I am gonna try to go over top now with the baby pink, which actually looks to have some like lilac and purple in it as well. I'm just curious how these two layer together. Like maybe it can look like a really, really like frosty cheek, or like a really like you're so cold from the snow, but also frosty. I don't know that that made a huge difference, other than we're looking very Neapolitan ice cream on that side of the face. This is something that I did not pick up during the Sephora sale. I picked this up at Sephora earlier this year. It's the Slip Tint from Shay, and I actually have really been enjoying this as a finishing powder. So I'm gonna take this on my What's Up Beauty R204, and I'm just gonna pat this over my cheeks to kind of hopefully neutralize everything a little bit. I feel like that helps a little. Oh yeah, that really helped to tone it down. I'm gonna put a little bit of this finishing powder just in on my forehead. The cheeks are still looking like quite pink, but I feel like that's okay because blush fades. Blush fades. Just for fun, because we're already just, you know, having so much fun with the makeup today. I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade right here, the glittery shade. Oh, that really is quite glittery. And I feel like I'm gonna be careful maybe not to bring this like way up. Oh yeah, that is straight glitter on the cheeks. I don't know if you can see that. That is straight glitter. So maybe I'm just gonna bring it to about there. Just to add like a little frosty glitter. That is glitter. I don't know if you can tell with the, let me turn this down. I don't know if you can tell. Wow, it also is Who Wants Ice Cream? I don't feel like the blush and bronzer are necessarily blended the best together, but that's okay. Okay, I'm just putting a little bit of that here just for fun. That is definitely not going to be an everyday used highlight for me because I just, again, don't always rarely reach for glitter. Not going to put any glitter on my nose. But I feel like for like fun holiday looks, or if I'm just like sitting down to film and have fun, I feel like I could have some fun with that shade. And I feel like that will make a really beautiful kind of eyeshadow topper. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that pink highlight shade and just like run it over top here. I'm just curious how that will like layer on top of the glitter. Maybe made it like a little bit more frosty. Oh, I forgot I wanted to do a little bit of blush topper. Might be going a little bit overboard, but I really do kind of want to play around a little bit. Like how pretty, like just what a fun like bubblegum pink sort of shade. Let me just swatch on my hand here. Okay, those are so pretty. I also do love a glowy cheek, so like something like this just like honestly makes me happy. And if you like a glowy cheek, I'm like, oh, why didn't I see this before? Hold on one moment. Am I an idiot? Is this a moment of truth? I was about to say like, oh my gosh, this quad of shadows looks so pretty. Okay, maybe it's these two. Okay, I was like, wait. But I swear, you guys, I was like, oh my gosh, NARS did something so much more. Like, I don't think I have these exact shades in a palette. I don't think they're probably not the exact same names. Let's see. Oh, Thrill. It's because I'm like, they look slightly different, but these two blushes are the same shade. So Thrill, are there other repeats? Hold on. But I swear Dark Love, Dolce Vita is definitely a blush shade that I've seen in other palettes. Okay. Well, if you have this. Okay, anyway, which blush shade? I feel like a part of me wants to add a little bit of the kind of mid-toned blush on top. Boop. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, we're going for it. We're gonna have glowy cheeks though. Oh, that just added like, oh yeah, that just added like a bit of a glow and a shine. Okay. I know that like, I see it here, you guys. I see that that's not a great bronzer to blush transition. Okay, I see it. Oh yeah, we've got the glowy cheeks going. Okay, well at least we know we can get some pigment and we can get some glow from the NARS. I also feel like the shade right here is going to be such a freaking beautiful shade. Ooh, maybe that won't be. I thought it was gonna be more of a highlight for me. Maybe not, but oh, that looks like it would be such a beautiful blush shade as well. I truly love the NARS face palettes. And just because I feel like I've swatched everything except for this in the palette, like, I feel like that shade is something that, yeah, for a blush, I could get a lot of use out of too. I just feel like I love something that has a bit of like browniness to it, so. All right, well, before we move on to the eyes, I'm gonna spray a little bit of my Huda Easy Bake setting spray. This is a very blurring setting spray, so I'm gonna spray this, and I likely will still finish with another round of the one size. Oh yeah, I forget you have to be, oh yeah. Oh no! The sprayer was like fine on this for the longest time. And now I'm like, oh, that is, there we go. That was super aggressive there for a second. Okay, I don't have an eyeshadow primer from Sephora. My favorite eyeshadow primer is the Ulta Beauty Matte Veil Longwear eyeshadow primer. So I am just going to prime my eyes really quick. For eyes, I ended up picking up 2 of the new Danessa Myricks Color Fix, oh my gosh, Color Fix sticks. I picked up 1, or is it 2? 1 and 3. And I want to use 1 today. This looks so freaking beautiful. So the 2 shades, which by the, oh no, okay, that was stupid. Anyway, the 2 shades in this, we have the shade Interstellar, which is like the shade that I just want to use so freaking badly. Ugh, it looks so pretty. This really beautiful pinky shade. And then the other side has the darker, more metallic, and this is Mystic Taupe. I'm a little bit nervous to use Mystic Taupe just because I don't typically do like a lighter, or sorry, a darker eyeshadow crayon stick. I think I do want to lay down a matte in the crease. I also recently purchased, not during the sale, but prior to, I purchased the new Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 7. I do have a whole dedicated review, including I think 3 looks with this palette. So if you want to see that, I'll leave that link down below. But I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this matte shade right here and just bring that up into the crease just to add a little depth and dimension to the crease. Okay, I feel like I want to soften that up just a little bit. I feel like it's like clinging a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit more of the lighter matte. I'm just going to use that along the edge to kind of hopefully blend that out a little bit. Okay, I'm nervous. I'm going to zoom you guys in. I am nervous mostly for the Mystic Taupe. Okay, I'm going to take Mystic Taupe. What I do love about these sticks too is they are like slightly cooling. They feel extremely creamy. Once these are set down though, they are like set down. I don't know if I already mentioned in this video, but I already owned number 5, the 5 duo, and really enjoy that. Okay, that's so pretty. And I've been like more into a shadow stick this year. I think because I've been more into like makeup on the go. I'm gonna bring this in a little bit more, or just up and in a little bit more. Oh, that's such a pretty shade. Actually, I was very intimidated by that, but for the, oh my gosh, it's so glittery, which we love. Same thing on the outer. I feel like every time I've used these, I've gone directly onto the lid. I guess I've never tried to like brush it onto a brush first. Is that something people even do with eyeshadow crayons? I don't know. I'm not like an eyeshadow crayon expert. So let me know how you guys apply your crayons. How sparkly and how beautiful is that? Taking Interstellar, which I'm so excited about. And we're gonna take Interstellar across the whole lid. How pretty is that? That is so sparkly and wet looking and just so beautiful. I absolutely love that. It's so sparkly. I literally and truly don't know if I could like, it's very, very sparkly. I am gonna take just a little bit more of that darker matte and just like run that along the edge here just to try and like seamlessly blend to make it like maybe not such a stark contrast. Oh, that is just so pretty though. And even as I'm like blending out this matte shadow, I honestly don't feel like the rest of the glitter is budging at all. Like it's like locked in. I think I might just take a small amount of Mystic Taupe, the darker shade, on my pinky. And I just want to bring that up and in just a little bit more. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I feel like there's like, it's almost like just like a little bit lighter in blue there then. Maybe just to create maybe not quite as stark of a contrast. I don't know, maybe I'm failing. I also just feel like those are so easy to use. Like they just, oh, and they're so sparkly. My only thing is work fast because these do dry down very, very quickly. I'm gonna take just a little bit of this shadow right here. Is that kind of what I want? Is that more of like a, yeah, that's like a pinky. Okay, I'm gonna take a little of this shade right here on a pencil brush. And I'm gonna use this as my inner corner highlight. And I don't have a new eyeliner by any means, so I'm just gonna go in with my Ciele eyeliner in the shade Dusk, which is a dark brown. And I'm just gonna take that in the waterline. And then I'm gonna take this shade again. And I'm just gonna smudge that on the lower lash line. And then before I put mascara on, I am gonna finish with setting spray, but I think I want to do a little bit more of my Shay finishing powder just over the cheeks. I think after we added that glowy blush topper, the cheeks just got, or just the cheeks are blushing, that's for sure. All right, then I'm going to take the one size again, and I'm just going to spray my face. And then we are gonna wrap it up with mascara. I did purchase 2 mini mascaras during the sale. I purchased the Rare Beauty, which I did try either earlier this year or last year for the first time, and I really enjoyed this a lot, so I wanted to repurchase it. But I did also pick up the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water. I've been wanting to try this, I swear, since this release, because this just gets rave reviews and I'm really curious about it. I believe it's a tubing mascara. So, and then we also have to do the lips, which I don't have any new lip products. I actually think for lips, I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude. I feel like I haven't reached for this in the longest time, but I do love this lip liner. I feel like I just look so pale. Maybe because my foundation actually is my skin color right now. It's scary. For my lip gloss, I'm gonna go in with the Makeup Forever Super Boost in Wherever Walnut. I picked this up during the spring Sephora sale, and I loved it so much I ended up getting 2 additional shades. It just is... Oh, I don't know that this is actually the shade I would have gone with for this makeup look, but it'll work. It'll work. It's fine. It just makes the lips look so glossy. All right, we are going to finish with mascara, and then we will have a final look. So I'm just going to go in with the Cali Ray Make Waves mascara. I'm not going to layer mascaras because I'm just so curious how this performs on its own. Okay, do feel like this does a nice job of separating and lengthening, but I don't necessarily know that it's giving me the volume that I want. So I actually might layer this with the Rare Beauty simply because I feel like the Rare Beauty gives me the volume I like, but for, wow, for separation and length, I don't have the best lashes, so and I also don't know how much I can zoom you in. Like, I do feel like, and even potentially a bit of curl, because I sometimes feel like these lashes just stick straight out, but they definitely are curling on the outer part. Okay. For an everyday natural lash, that would be so beautiful. I am going to go in with my Rare Beauty just because I want a little bit of volume today as well. I really enjoyed the volume from the Rare Beauty, but I really liked the Rare Beauty as well because I never got any transfer with this mascara, and that is obviously very important to me. Okay, I do like those 2 layered together a lot. I feel like my mascaras here the last like little bit have not been my favorite combo, and I'm almost through my entire mascara collection. That's why I was like, okay, I'm just gonna actually buy some mascaras for once that like I want and know that I like. I feel like for the longest time it's like, you know, you get free mascara or like free gift with purchase mascara with like everything. Also, I just had like, I think a bunch from like old subscription boxes. Like, I was just trying to work my way through my mascara collection, and now I'm like, okay, because having good mascara is like so important, especially because I don't really ever do falsies. So now I'm happy to just give myself permission to buy mascaras that I like. But I was using the Clio Lash, and what was the other one I was using? Oh, the e.l.f. Incredicurl, which is such a wet formula. It's just kind of difficult to use. And I just have not been loving my lashes for a while now. So this feels really good. Like, I really like the way that my lashes look today. Yay. Okay, you guys, this is the final eye look. It's very sparkly, I know. I freaking love that #1 duo from Danessa Myricks. The way that those 2 layer on each other, oh my gosh. Okay, love. I'm gonna zoom you guys out for the rest of the face. I think I might change the lip before we actually go to the Prince concert. I don't love just the lip color with the rest of the eye look, but, or like the rest of the face. Probably do something Lawless, forget the filler, maybe a little bit more pinky, but actually I think I might do that now. Okay, maybe this is too pink now, but I went in with the Makeup by Mario Pink Peony. I am hoping that Fenty, oh my gosh, the lip kit with the gloss bomb and the lip liner goes on sale. I really also want to buy the shade Thug Blush too in the Fenty lip liner. I did swatch it in the store though, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't need this shade. Anyway, Pink Peony from Makeup by Mario, and I'm going over top with Dazette from Lawless, which is more of like a metallic pink. Okay, I do like this lip combo at least better than the previous one for the look. The Lawless Forget the Filler is my favorite like lip gloss formula, but if you guys are thinking of picking up a Lawless Forget the Filler, I wouldn't recommend the holiday set because the mini is like the applicator in the mini is just, it's so different from the full size, whereas the full size kind of like hugs your lip like so. The mini just pick one shade in the full size and buy that. That would be my recommendation if you're looking to try the Lawless Forget the Filler. But let's quickly run through everything that is on my face today. So I have the Bare Minerals Primetime Original Pore Minimizing Primer. I wouldn't say this is the most like pore filling primer of all time, but I do feel like it did a nice job of smoothing. Obviously, first impressions for a lot of the products in today's video, I do feel like my face looks really smooth on the cheeks. I will say that. And forehead. So they did send that one to me though. I did not buy that. The Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Natural Finish Foundation. I'm gonna have to keep testing this. I think this looks really beautiful everywhere except for like my nose and like smile lines here, which it could also be like I just need to maybe apply less right there or prep differently or potentially powder differently. That's the only place I'm feeling like it's looking a little bit heavy. Everywhere else I'm like really happy with how this is wearing. We'll have to see how long wearing this is. I feel like I really can't give a good first impression. Everything's first impression, right? I mean, I like it. I do like it off first impression. I just get nervous about the smile lines. Although after powdering, it's not looking nearly as bad as it was. For concealer, the Kulfi concealer, I really like the way that this is sitting underneath the eyes. Obviously, I did powder with the Givenchy Prism Libre pressed powder, which does help to blur underneath the eyes, but I don't feel like this looks heavy, cakey, or dry underneath the eyes, which makes me really happy. It does not feel like I added any additional product underneath the eyes. This was really, really smooth in texture, and I thought this was going to be too dark for me, but I'm not noticing that it feels too dark underneath the eyes. So far I am liking that. The bronzer, you guys know I love. I do feel like the bronzer looks a little bit warm, especially like it's been a long time since I maybe have worn this with such a light foundation, because I have been trying to cycle through some of my other powders. I still think this is a beautiful bronzer. I still love how buildable it is. I maybe just would have gone for, especially just like with the eye look and everything, I maybe would have gone for a bronzer that wasn't quite as warm today. But I do personally recommend the Dior bronzer, especially if you are someone who likes a warmer bronzer. The NARS face palette, you guys know I love NARS face palettes. I recommend them. I know that they can get repetitive, but I love NARS blushes. I love NARS highlights. I think the packaging is beautiful. I'm so pleased to have this. The Dior quad I definitely don't think is going to be for everyone, especially the Frosted Opal quad, just because of the glittery nature of it. But if you like a glittery highlight, perhaps this would be for you. I love my other Dior quad, although that was before they reformulated, so this is the only reformulated quad I can speak to as of this moment. I do think Dior makes a beautiful highlight, but I also love their new, it kind of looks like a ski jacket, like a silver ski jacket, pink opal in that Dior highlight. If you want just like a single highlight, I highly recommend that. I picked that up during the spring sale. The Kosas Cloud Set Powder, we know I love, so obviously I recommend the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. I've gone through several. I think it's a beautiful powder. I will say I have really been enjoying the Say Slip Tint powder for a finishing powder. I don't like this for setting all over the face, but for a really nice, lightweight kind of finishing powder that offers just like a slight hint of a healthy glow to the skin, I have been enjoying this. I get a little bit hesitant because all over the face just as like a setting powder, do not love. I think it looks heavy and just not good. The Color Fix sticks, I love Duo 1. I haven't used Duo 3 on my lids yet. Duo 5 I also really, really enjoyed. They're just so nice, cooling on the lids. They literally are so long wearing. I know that I just put this one on, but I'm gonna come back and show you guys how long wearing these are, because once they're set down, they don't budge. I love Duo 1. I think that's so pretty. I do also recommend the Danessa Myricks Lightwork 7. If it's something you're interested in, I recommend obviously getting it on sale because it's a very pricey palette. I love the Danessa Myricks Lightwork palettes. I have for several years at this point in time. So I will say I do recommend this, even though I didn't pick it up during the sale. I'm gonna have to keep testing the Milk Kush High Roll Brow Tint. I feel like just because I used that pomade today, I really have no clue what this actually did to add a tint to the brows, so I will test that on its own. I will say maybe the brows don't feel quite as crispy as they did with the original ABH Clear Brow Gel, but they do still feel very locked into place and glued into place. Okay, sorry, my camera battery died, so if I've moved, that's why. I think I was talking about the ABH Brow Gel. I would say at first impressions, I am quite pleased with this. Obviously, I'm going to keep testing this one. We'll see if it keeps my brows truly like locked and up all day. But I'm glad that I picked that up. What else? I think the last two things that we tested in today's video, you guys know I love the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, Pumpkin Pie. If you're into pumpkin pie, I do recommend the pumpkin pie scent. And then the Cali Ray and the Rare Beauty. I already knew that I liked the Rare Beauty mascara. I think it does a really nice job of offering nice volume and curl to the lashes. I've never had transfer with this, so I've really enjoyed the Rare Beauty mascara. And obviously this is my first time using the Cali Ray, but I do feel like for length, separation, and a slight curl, this is absolutely beautiful. Not necessarily giving me the volume I would be looking for if I was doing like full glam, but for day to day, I think this would be like this is something that off of first impressions only, I can definitely see myself falling in love with and wanting to repurchase. And then just again, what's on the lips. I love the Makeup by Mario lip pencils. If there's a shade you've been eyeing, I do think this is a great lip pencil formula, and I love my Lawless. Forget the filler. Oh, and a top recommendation, not something I picked up during this sale, but I highly recommend, honestly, no matter your skin type, I think anyone will like the One Size Powder Milk Glass Setting Spray, so I highly recommend this. But after that, you guys, that is going to wrap up and conclude today's Sephora VIB shop with me. Not shop with me. Get ready with me. Get ready with me. Let me know if you guys picked anything up during the sale. I would love to hear from you. I am really trying my best to stay strong and not buy anything else during the sale. We're really trying hard. Although I still want the Ciele rock candy fragrance badly. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.